Namaste, angels. Thank you for joining, liking, sharing, and subscribing. Twins, my fellow Geminis, I'm so sorry I'm late. But speaking of late or delayed, yeah, we're going to have a lot of that going on in over the next couple of weeks. We have two Hangman cards here from my Angel Tarot, Major Arcana card 12, Awakening. Look at things from a different perspective. You're at a temporary standstill. It's important to be yourself. And from the Rider-Waite Tarot in our position of what I'm calling like surrounding. So this one here is the placement for our most direct energy. It's the Eight of Wands in reverse. This is about delay as well. We're awaiting something, maybe a letter or a check, a decision, transaction, a package, something we're dependent upon. Some of us, we're waiting for this thing to come so that we can do the next thing. Or maybe we're waiting for clarity. It's sitting here next to the Hangman. We could be waiting for some sort of enlightenment. And when I get it, then I'm going to know what to do about these other choices I got made. We have this Eight of Wands, speaking of being delayed, and the Hangman being about limbo and feeling stuck. It's crossing the Empress in reverse. Some of us, our females, our menstrual cycle is delayed. It's delayed, and we're in limbo. We got to wait to see what's going to happen. Like you have to wait for the test. I know you say, well, sometimes you can just, just pee on the stick thing and get the test results real quick. Yeah. Sometimes you have to wait a certain number of days or weeks or whatever it is before you can do that. I'm just feeling like we're waiting for that or some other female something. Maybe you are concerned that you have a health situation and you're waiting for test results or something over the next 2 weeks. Some of us, something probably female related, like, some sort of feminine condition or situation. For others of us, maybe it doesn't have anything necessarily to do with being a feminine condition, but you are a mother. You're being represented here as a very feminine creature, person. And so you're probably a mother. You probably have children or something, and you're waiting. Now, the Hangman, as it relates to health, can be about all of a sudden we're changing the way we feel about something going on with our health, or we're changing the way we feel about ourselves. So maybe I'm no longer hung up about my weight. All of a sudden I'm fine with it. Maybe I'm no longer hung up about, I don't know, the kind of things, whatever we get hung up about as it relates to our health. All of a sudden it's fine. Could have to do with an ideology. Maybe a way that you believed in eating, some sort of belief system. Maybe you're realizing, hey, that was just, an eating disorder. That wasn't really like an ideology, a belief system or whatever. I got to stop that. That wasn't healthy. That wasn't just. That wasn't the right thing to be doing. The Hierophant in reverse is about wanting to do the right thing and maybe not knowing what is the right thing. No. What does that mean? Is it the right thing based on what society says is the right thing? Because there's been things throughout history over the centuries that they used to do and they used to say was right and it used to be the law even. And now we all agree it's not so right. Eddie Murphy just apologized for Raw. Now, I wouldn't have done this. Probably one of the best pieces of, comedic cinema of all time. He was like at least when I was coming up, he was the big name in comedy. He was like this comedy superhero, and Raw to this, you could look back at it and watch it years later and still hilarious. He just was made to apologize or felt compelled to apologize when people brought up, well, you talked about, I think he talked about ageism and or things that could be considered ageist and perhaps homophobic or whatever. And I get that that's not cool now, but at the time, it wasn't a big deal. So it's that sort of thing. Things that were considered right at one time or fine at one time are not anymore. So what does that mean? And who gets to decide what's the right thing to do and what's right? Do I get to decide for myself? Where does my integrity fit in here? And how I feel, how it makes me feel at the soul level, whether or not this aligns with me or not. I understand that, it may be tradition but maybe non-traditional is what resonates with my soul. Can I do that instead if it doesn't hurt anybody else? So that's where integrity comes in, which happens to be one of our overall energies, the one for the angel therapy cards. Align your actions so that they match your values and your inner knowingness of what's right for you. So Gemini, I think we're over the next 2 weeks, we're trying to figure out what that is. A lot of us, we're spending a lot of time trying to focus, like, what is right for me? And what is right and what is right for me, and are they one and the same, or can they be one and the same? Does right have to be what it looks like to you? Can it be what it looks like to me? Can I make choices based on what I'm into and what I feel in my heart and what I feel in my soul and what I feel my purpose is? Can I make them based on that, or do I have to do, what my religion says, or the way I was brought, my education, my political affiliation, my parents, my siblings? What are they going to think? What's the neighbor going to say? The homeowners association, if I want to, can I plant flowers in my garden? Oh, that's not right. That doesn't look good. It's like we're wanting to do our own thing. We're just feeling stuck as to what is appropriate, what's not appropriate. What can I do? Can I live organically and true to my soul and true to myself? That's where we are, Gemini. Now we've got other cards showing that we're just going to need to let go and let this clarity, let this enlightenment come to us. Just surrender and let go. There may be a Pisces that is particularly significant as well, or you may have some Pisces energy, and it's definitely, we could all have any kind of energy, but I'm saying definitely Pisces, because with this goddess, it gives me air sign energy, but it also gives me water. And then in particular, the moon. She's not just a goddess. She's like the goddess of the moon with the full moon behind her. Well, the moon in the tower represents the sign of Pisces, as does the hangman, of which we have two of them. And then we have this other overall energy that's the Eight of Cups in reverse with another moon, the man in the moon even. It's very Piscean. Now, I think also, because like I said, we're trying to figure out like what it is we want and how to actually live our truth and stuff. I think we're being affected also maybe by Neptune retrograde in Pisces. Neptune is one of the few bodies that's still in retrograde, and it's causing a lot of illusion. Like we're having trouble differentiating in a lot of cases what's real and what is just like a figment of imagination and confusion that the Piscean energy is causing. Some of us want to leave our jobs. Some of us want to leave our relationships. Some of us want to leave living situations that we have. We might be living with siblings. I don't know. I keep feeling or hearing siblings. Some of us don't want to throw the whole relationship away, but we want and need to let aspects of it go. And maybe it's aspects that we created, again, a figment of our own imagination, an illusion, the fairy tale that we dreamed up. We're imposing in all kinds of expectations on the relationship, and that's what we need to let go. That's what I'm getting from the Empress too. Empress can be about wanting to let something go. And the Hangman is very majorly about wanting to let something go. And the Eight of Cups is about wanting to let something go in reverse. Like there's something we have to get rid of and we have to leave alone. And again, it doesn't mean necessarily you have to throw your whole relationship away if you're in a committed relationship and want to stay on it. Yeah, work on your partnership. As a matter of fact, I saw that here too. Give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. And when I picked up this card just now, I wouldn't mention it normally because it's in reverse, but the next card is soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. And the next one after that is codependency. So there's something that's not healthy with the relationship or with us or with our partner, and we need to let go at least of that aspect. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. If this is anything that's toxic, anything that doesn't resonate with your soul or align with you, that's what the codependency represents. And it may have something to do, again, with family, maybe with siblings, because I definitely heard siblings, even though I don't see from where that might be coming. But now here we are, healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. But it's not just your parents. It's any and everybody who is so impactful upon your life that you can't move on with it. You can't move on with your life in general, but let alone your love life. Like, that's stuck. Anybody affecting your love life like that or your life like that is somebody with whom you either have to repair the relationship if there's a desire to do that on both sides and an ability to do it, or walk away from it. So that may be what's going on too. We're having to decide. We're at a crossroad, needing to decide: do I walk away from a relationship or a situation, or do I repair it? Am I interested in repairing it? Maybe I got to think about that for a minute. Let me pause in this limbo and get this figured out. Let me get me figured out, because right now I'm confused. I'm not sure what I want. All right. And that would be coming again from the goddess. Well, she's also going to be moving us to surrender, to let go and, let it happen. Let the information come. Or again, maybe to surrender and let go again of something or someone or aspects of it. The Hangman, same thing. Spirituality, ascension, expansion as it relates to spirituality. Some of us maybe even newly awakened. Like, we're just beginning to awaken to some of these things. There's going to be growth right now, but that's causing us to pause and other things. Like, oh, now that I'm seeing things differently, hold on a second. Like, I need a moment. Relationships, some of us want to keep them. Some of us are done. Work on the partnership could mean either for me. Working on the partnership could mean if you know it's not meant, it doesn't resonate with you, working on dissolving it. Because again, there's a matter of our integrity at stake and aligning with what resonates with our soul. And from what I call my hashtag creepy deck, there's another card that's indicative of conflict and or delay, break up. But again, whatever it is, it's temporary. This is a pause. This is not, none of this is permanent. None of this energy that's in any of these placements, any of these oracle cards or anything that we're seeing thus far, none of this is permanent. This is all temporary energy that we're having to work with. It's just that some of it is very, very karmic. We got in a 4-card spread, 3 major arcana cards, the Hangman upright, the Empress in reverse, and the Hierophant in reverse. That means there's nothing we can do about the karmic energy, but we still have free will. So what we can do is we can control how we react to whatever that karmic energy brings. We can control to how we respond and what decisions we make. That's within the realm of our free will. But there is going to be pause. There is going to be limbo. And that's coming from some sort of karmic energy. And there's nothing we can do about it. There is going to be this need to let something go and to pay attention to our intuition. We may be very attractive to a bunch of suitors right now, and there's nothing we can do about it. All we can decide is if we're going to choose to, to give any of those suitors a chance. That's in our control, but we can't stop it. We may be faced with a situation, and in this placement, particularly at work, of somebody who's normally somebody that's really knowledgeable and learned and respected by us, and they give us very, very good advice. They may even be giving us good advice right now, but we may need to go against that advice this time. And I don't know if it was Cancer. Was it the one I did right before this? But I did a reading, either the Cancer one, because I took a break in between. So either the Cancer one or maybe it was Virgo, where not the Hierophant, which represents the sign of Taurus, by the way, but the King of Pentacles was in this position in reverse. And I said there may be somebody who not only is trying to cause you trouble at work, but they also, and there's no pleasing them, but they also might, be able to guide you and give you information. Like they give you a rough time, but they know their stuff. I'm not saying the person this time doesn't know their stuff, but again, when the Hierophant is in reverse like this in this place of work, maybe this time, and maybe they're being affected by the Piscean energy. This time, they don't exactly know what they're talking about as it relates to this situation, and you can't listen to them. You may want to agree to disagree with this person who normally would show you the right way to go. And maybe they're a Taurus. Maybe they're a Taurus. Because again, Major Arcana card 5, the Hierophant, does represent the sign of Taurus. It sits here next to the Empress, which represents the planet Venus, ruler of the sign of Taurus. So it also represents Taurus, in addition to Libra and Gemini, which she also rules. So this is our energy too, Gemini, this Empress here. Also, in consideration of the soulmate that was under give your relationship a chance, work on your partnership, I want to mention that under this temporary pause and break is a card called Passion. And for me, it's very Two of Wands. It's what I see, all the red or the fire, and then the two people. It gives me Two of Wands or Two of Fire vibes. And of course, the Two of Wands or Two of Fire considered the divine union or twin flame card of the tarot. So there may be a situation, these cards are, kind of similar in color too. There may be a situation involving a very special relationship, a soulmate relationship of some sort. Again, where there's a break and there's a pause and we need to decide what's up in the meantime, like what it is we want, what it is we're doing. And our energy coming through very strong here. Ice Queen sitting underneath that Passion card. Ice Queen, of course, representative for me of Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and the planet Venus and goddess Venus herself. I'm going to go to the other oracle cards because, like I said, all these cards, they say so much of the same things. 8 of Wands in reverse, delay. We're waiting for something, a decision, a letter, a conversation, communication, a package, some sort of action to be taken. The Hangman, delay, limbo, an air of suspension. In the meantime, maybe spiritual awakening, clarity into which we're coming. While we're paused, we're able to meditate, we're able to think. Enlightenment. Hierophant in reverse, breaking with tradition. In this case, specifically something having to do with work and or finance. But while with work, you may be wanting to break with tradition and take on a non-traditional career, or break with the tradition of, again, listening to this person. Represented by Taurian energy, that could just be because of the work ethic and their position there. Again, the person is knowledgeable. Maybe it's even some sort of bookkeeper or accountant or something at your job. The finance people, maybe. Breaking with tradition and not listening to them this time. Or taking, going with your own gut, right? Following your own guidance. Which you're, again, super intuitive right now. But in terms of finances, as opposed to work, you are going to want to be traditional when the Hierophant is up front. Is in reverse, rather. And it's not a good time to sort of go rogue and be risky and, to gamble, to take chances with your money, with your finances. Not a good time for that. So in that respect, you're going to want to be traditional right now. Then the Empress in reverse, you're extremely attractive and feeling attractive, maybe having a lot of suitors. If you're in a committed relationship, you could be thinking, Gemini, of letting it go or letting aspects of it go or aspects of your vision for it. And I did say that to another sign too that I read for. Definitely check out your rising sign and your moon sign, and check out the moon reading. So the new moon in Libra, and then I'll be doing a moon reading for the 13th as well, for the full moon in Aries. Definitely check those out as well, so you can get like a better picture But I said to somebody that I was reminded of that song by Mariah Carey. I had a vision of love, because that's what this is giving me. Like, I had I had an idea of how I wanted this to be. We can't force it to be like that. That's where the surrender again is coming in, and the integrity, right? We got to live in truth. And so you may have to let go of that vision. So not throwing away the whole relationship, just throwing away the vision that you and instead of living in illusion, living the real relationship, the reality. Let's try that. But getting more exciting now, going to the oracle cards for the masculine, we have a card called Fun Times from, again, the hashtag creepy deck. Now with these 3 fingers in the air and the name Fun Times and all these flashing lights and stuff, to me this card is very 3 of Cups. It's a celebration. Somebody, again, may be pregnant, or we could be thinking about getting married, deepening a commitment, and again, maybe a non-traditional one. Maybe, we're 2 different religions. We're the woman is older, the man is younger. That's something non-traditional. Again, it's a same-sex relationship. It's a polygamous relationship, whatever. I don't know what's considered non-traditional, because to me, everything is good. I mean, we air signs for the, in large part are like that. It's like, whatever, especially, Gemini is like, listen, I don't care. Do what you want to do. I really don't care. So from that respect, I don't know what's right any more than you guys do, or what's just and what's appropriate and what's inappropriate. But it's going against the grain. It's going against the grain, at least in your, your community. So that's your immediate family or your friends, the people with whom you surround yourself, the people at your job. They expect a certain you, and that's not the real you. And so it's time for the real you. It's time for you to break with tradition and be that real you. And that may contribute to fun times. That may cause you to get out and be more social. Or again, some of us deepening a commitment, maybe even getting engaged, starting a family with the least expected person. But those relationships where you fall for like the person you would have never expected to, those often are the best ones. They do tend to be some sort of soulmate relationship, right? Divine union, twin flame relationship. That's just meant to be. Even if you, in your 3D mind, you would have never even gone there. Feminine, speaking of karmic energy, it is the brunette female. Now for me, she represents the karmic energy, karmic feminine energy. It doesn't have to be an actual person. Certainly doesn't have to be an actual female, but it very well may be. And she is often a Cancer or a Leo. And at times I've said, what I'm feeling, it's a Taurus this time. Taurus too. Maybe actually even dark haired and everything, if it's a person. And we may have some sort of conflict with her or confrontation. We may need to deal with a situation once and for all. Maybe this represents, again, our sibling or something, and it's involving some sort of living situation or situation at work or in our love life. And we're having to decide. Again, it's going to be there is no middle with the hangman, these 2 hangmen and this Hierophant and this Emperor. There is no middle. It's yes or no. Him or me. Me or her. Up or down. Right or left. Like, it's not, we're going to have to pick. From the Angel Therapy cards. Vacuum away fear. Call upon Archangels Michael and Raphael to lift fear-based energy from you, your surroundings, and this situation and everyone involved. This is going to be so that you can live your truth. There's fear and ego about, again, what the world thinks or your family thinks or whatever about the way you want to live, Gemini. And I'm surprised we care, but I guess some of us even have those kind of feelings too. And it's just, there's a need to get rid of it. Get rid of those kind of feelings, the feelings of fear and worry about what others think. Feminine, the God box. Write any worries, concerns, or desires on a piece of paper that you put into a special container called a God box is a way of letting go. Yeah, again, we definitely got to let go. All these cards of letting go. It's really kind of amazing. I don't even know if I expressed it the way it is, but the Hangman is about letting go. Hangman is about letting go. Eight of Cups is about letting go. The Empress in reverse is about letting go. Yeah. The Goddess is about letting go. Surrender. So, right, if you're having trouble doing that, you can write them down, put them in this box, and allow the divine to help you. I write stuff down and set it on fire. I feel that helps me. So whatever you feel may help you. From the abundance cards to the masculine partnership. Allow healthful, supportive partnerships into your personal life and your career, and both parties benefit as a result. You're receiving help from heaven and from a person who brings needed skills and resources. That could definitely be some sort of divine partnership or soulmate. You know, even if it's not a soulmate meant for a lifetime, they tend to bring us something, some sort of valuable resources meant to teach us a lesson, you know, before they move on and we move on to our next phase. I'm feeling some of this delay could be Mercury retrograde shadow. There's a bunch of stuff coming up beginning this month and this at the end of this week, actually, that I still haven't decided how I'm going to talk about it. A video, more than one video in pieces, but there's some big stuff that I've been shown for the end of this month, beginning with the Mercury retrograde, but more so beginning actually this, like I said, at the end of this week when Mercury enters shadow and with the full moon in Aries. And then November, and then certainly December. There's huge things that are coming. We may, Gemini, maybe more so than other people, already on the 11th, when Mercury enters its shadow, approaching retrograde, begin to experience delays. Mercury rules communication. So again, communication, travel, transportation, electronics. It's like basically everything that we use every single day. And so that's why people get all panicky about Mercury retrograde, because it's like, it's bound to affect you. You know, if something goes wrong, it's bound with Mercury, it's bound to affect you. Because we're so dependent upon these things. So that may be for some of us why there's a delay. It's just something that's out of our control. But that delay may allow things like, again, second chances at partnerships, something returning to your life. That happens big time with Mercury retrograde too. The soulmates, and maybe that's why the Empress in reverse is here too, because again, she's very attractive. She could have a bunch of suitors. These could be the soulmates from the past, the exes and stuff start coming out the woodwork with Mercury retrograde. So that may be what it is too. But maybe there is one that we, you know, like the one that got away, and instead we went with the traditional person, like, you know, who mom and dad like, or, you know, the one that looks good on paper, but that's not where our heart is. I have a client actually that I was just talking to a little while ago that she's getting divorced, and it's been difficult, or she's trying to get divorced, but she's come such a long way. It's been difficult because she's in India and they have different practices there, and it's not as easy to get divorced. But like the husband's gay. And she's not the only one. I have another client actually with she's Indian too, but she lives in England. And her husband is gay. But because they come from these cultures, these backgrounds, right, the traditions, they married who was appropriate. They were trying to do the right thing. That's what the Hierophant in reverse is about. Trying to do the right thing, but not really knowing what the right thing is. So they married the wrong person. That's not where the heart is. I mean, it can't be. If your mate is homosexual and you're heterosexual, then that's not the right relationship, obviously. And so there's a lot of things like that. That's just an example, but there's a lot of these situations where people married, whether it's a legal marriage or it's just like you married yourself to this person, this situation, this lifestyle. You attached yourself to it in a permanent type of way because you thought that that was what you were supposed to do. That's like how the world works, and that's what the world wants to see you do. But that's not where your heart is. So Gemini, we're coming up against these situations where, it's this karmic situation or person that we're having to face now and make a decision about. Yes or no. Do I want to keep living an illusion, or do I want to step into reality? Right? My integrity may be at risk if I don't make the right choice based on my intuition and what's in my heart, what's in my soul. I am very likely, with the Empress in reverse, to regret it dearly, deeply in the future at some point. Abundance to the feminine, deservingness. You're a beloved child of God like everyone else, and you deserve to receive the support that will allow you to focus upon your divine life purpose, right? You deserve to live your true life purpose. Even if you can't recognize your lovable qualities, trust that God and the angels can see how amazing you truly are. From the romance angels to the masculine, retreat. Yeah, we may have to go off by, well, we're going to be, if we're not going off by ourselves to figure something out, we're still going to feel sort of isolated while we're in this limbo, and sort of forced into enlightenment and clarity, because we have no choice but to make use of the time, of the pause that we're having. Also, we may be going off on retreat with somebody else, maybe an earth sign. This could be, again, the Taurus energy that's coming up here. Taurus, Pisces. Yeah, that's about it. It's a Gemini reading, but yeah, Taurus, Pisces. It's time to disconnect from the world. So whether you're alone or partnered in doing that, but there's going to be a break. Again, that's another indication of it. Feminine, love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. Like I said, your integrity is at stake. Your self-respect is at stake. You've got to be organic. You've got to live your truth. From the Angel Tarot to the masculine, it may seem rough, but everything's about to get easier. Things are looking up. It's the end of a difficult situation. You may even be taking a trip. This can be about actual travel, and maybe your travel is delayed because, again, Mercury rules travel and transportation. Some of us may be taking an actual trip or visiting someone, or, it could be a business trip, whatever. We could be moving. We could be wanting to change our living situation and moving, but something gets held up with it. For others, this is metaphorical, and it just means that, again, we're moving out of whatever difficult, challenging energy we have been experiencing into much calmer, more peaceful and pleasant energy. Angel Tarot to the feminine. Okay, it doesn't get much better than this. Major Arcana card 19, the Sun. Happy outcome, brilliant new ideas that lead to success. You have confidence in yourself. In terms of the, like I said, the feminine, the health condition, there was something involving maybe radiation. Maybe there was some sort of cancer, radiation, or an X-ray or something. I do say, or even pregnancy. And maybe you're feeling particularly challenged by pregnancy. Those of you like, why is my period late? Because I'm I'm older. Or maybe somebody's like gonna be beginning menopause, and so that you're moving into that. Whatever it is that I was feeling with the feminine condition, and possibly an older woman, even in the case of pregnancy, whatever the situation, everything's gonna work out. Everything's going to work out. Even situations involving, like I said, like cancer, chemo, radiation, that's coming through very positively. Also, in a more general sense, the Sun, like these hangmen, about, and again, enlightenment. Everything, clarity, everything is illuminated and becomes more clear when the Sun shows up too. So then we can finally make a decision and emerge, right, from this retreat from this isolation that we're going to experience, we emerge like sort of like the phoenix rising, a lot more clear. Now these are white rays. This is like, you know, rays of sunlight coming toward our faces. Now we're more clear and we're looking up and like we're ready to handle the world. But still a nude feminine body. So it's still going to require some surrender on our part, some letting go masculine. And lastly, for the feminine, a very similar card. Letting go of any negative emotions, regret, resentment, the inability to forgive, the inability to ask for forgiveness, pride, ego, fear, all of those things, you know, and the like, changing them, transmitting them to love by letting anything that we're harboring in a negative way go. And that's going to help us to ascend and to rise and to emerge right along with the masculine. And maybe this is why this is the perfect time for some of these relationships to come back together, because now we're sort of vibing on the same frequency. A lot of times relationships say, like, it seems so perfect. This is, you know, he's my soulmate or she's my soulmate. Like, why isn't it working? You sometimes are literally in two different dimensions. You're literally on two different frequencies. But here we see two bodies, energetic bodies that are vibrating very much in kind. And so I think that will help relationships to come together. Gemini, oh, I didn't tell you our overall our energy from here. Declutter. So this is also about getting rid of stuff. Maybe maybe that's why I didn't notice it before. I saw enough letting go energy, but we got one more. You'll feel better and more focused if you'll take time to clear away clutter from your living and workspace. Donate what you can to help others who may need your items. And be sure to keep your schedule uncluttered as well. And I tend to think that this is just like keeping your life uncluttered and cutting out the people, places, and things with which you do not resonate. Gemini, I am sorry that we are going to have these next 2 weeks. So this seems so much about spiritual growth and maybe some battles with ourselves over the next 2 weeks. But it looks like we emerge better for it. So I wish you guys a good 2 weeks. I'll be back in 2 weeks to see how it all turned out. If you liked the video, please actually like the video. If you felt that it helped you, then please like the video. And certainly if you both feel that it helped you and liked it, definitely please like the video. I do hate to have to ask for it, but it is like a sort of a requirement. So I do need it and I do appreciate it. Thanks again for joining, liking, sharing, and subscribing. I'll be back in 2 weeks. Or you can catch me with my other videos. Like I said, I'm going to have a moon reading at the end of the week. The full moon in Aries. So you can catch me there too. Namaste.